From our free daily newsletter, the latest from podnews.net with Podscribe. How are podcasts doing on Netflix? Independent measurement company Samba TV has posted data on Netflix podcasts, including a podcast ranker. The company says that 13% of Netflix households, that's 10 million of them, watched at least one cumulative minute of a Netflix podcast in the first quarter of the year. There's really only one runaway success on Netflix for now. It's The Breakfast Club, which is responsible for 40% of all podcast views on the platform and has 3 times the views of the number 2 title, a Netflix companion podcast for Bridgerton. Almost half of Breakfast Club viewers watch the show within 48 hours of an episode being released. Now, a note of caution on the numbers, though. 13% is a figure spanning 3 months rather than the usual 1 month period. The company only monitors smart TVs and not phones, and it doesn't suggest that these people watched a podcast for at least a minute. It just suggests that in total they've watched at least a minute of podcasts in a 3-month period. An exclusive for you from the podcast show in London. They've just announced Global and iHeart Podcasts as headline sponsors for the event next month. This year, Global's presence will place a particular focus on global studios. And another exclusive for you, we reported on the upcoming podcast movement New York City in February, but today we've an interview with the president, Brian Barletta.
This is going to be an event built for creators. We are going as heavily community sourced as possible for this.
You'll discover the pricing for tickets and more details about the week-long flagship event in an interview in the Pod News Weekly Review, which you can find wherever you found this podcast. For podcasts, YouTube has pulled far ahead of Spotify, with Apple Podcasts in 4th place behind Amazon Music. According to new global data from Media, 62% of monthly active podcast users are using YouTube compared to 47% for Spotify and around 25% for Apple Podcasts. The only surveyed countries that Spotify appears to lead in are Australia, but only very slightly, and in Spotify's home country of Sweden, where it has a significant lead. The data also suggests that 36% of global consumers have no interest in podcasts at all. Some good news from Libsyn and another exclusive for you today. A technical problem with some 301 redirects has now been fixed. The company tells us that they validated the changes and it's now working as desired. The company is the latest to announce an integration with Apple Podcasts HLS Video. And double Elvis's Disgraceland and Hollywoodland are moving to Exactly Right Media and iHeart Podcasts. It marks a return to iHeart for Disgraceland after an exclusive period with Amazon Music and time with Odyssey. And in podcast news, in the Pod News Weekly Review this week, a chat with Brian Barletta about the upcoming podcast movement and Sound's Profitable event in New York City. Plus, Sam and James discuss the latest Patreon revenue figures. If you've ever thought history was boring, The Persistence is here to prove you wrong. You'll hear the overlooked stories of rebels, visionaries and communities who shaped the world, told with sharp insight, unexpected twists and just enough wit to make you wonder why none of this made it into your textbooks. And law is local, but cryptocurrency is borderless. The Crypto Case Law Review is a podcast for legal professionals about cryptocurrency litigation. And this podcast is sponsored by Podscribe. What are the top podcast shows in March 2026? NPR leads in reach, Diary of a CEO tops engagement, and top rankings shift across charts. You can explore the Podscribe Ranker. There's a link in our show notes today, and that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe for free and fill out the report card, we're at podnews.net.